screw the reality shows. I'm gonna start YouTube now. So I did YouTube. You know, my dad supports it like on the inside, but like it's not like fully there. Like, that whole relationship was like so toxic to me. I was in like depression. It's changed a lot. Yeah. But I think I found a very consistent music direction that I want to go in. Yeah. With this like R&B pop rhythmic type of sound.
Hi, I'm here with MACY KATE.
What's up?
So you were born in, was it St. Petersburg in Florida?
Yes, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah. And did your parents from there as well, or did they move there?
Well, actually, where I was born was this place called Dunedin, Florida. Yeah. A very small town in Florida. And then we moved to St. Pete, so yeah, we're all from there.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you started singing at like a young age, at like 5, right?
Yeah, very young. I was a competitive swimmer growing up.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say, because I sung
really?
competitively too. Yeah, but you did like breaststroke. I did like freestyle and butterfly.
Oh my god,
like, yes, I love meeting swimmers.
All my life, I was like, my whole family was very athletic, so I came from a very athletic background.
Your dad was like nearly in the Olympic trials or something, right?
Yeah, so we had a very athletic family. My brother still actually swims, so then when I was like 13, started getting into music a little bit, and it was kind of hard because I think like my whole family kind of wanted me to be a swimmer.
Yeah, you were like on track to be in the Olympics. That's crazy.
Yeah. I swimming since I was like 5, and then at age 13 I like started getting letters from like universities and colleges and like
they're already recruiting at such a young age.
Yeah, so then I started auditioning for reality shows and developing like a love for music. I started on piano, and then it kind of changed, my goals changed, and luckily my parents were like very supportive.
Yeah, and you did some like writing competitions, right, back then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep, I did a lot of different, when I was growing up, I tried to do anything I could to like sing, to show my parents that I could like really do this. We went to like karaoke bars and even like talent shows, like school talent shows, and then writing competitions and stuff like that. So
do you have like or do you think you got your like creative side from then, or like your music side?
You know, I don't really know. Like, none of my family was very musical at all, so it was definitely a weird thing. I don't even know. It was kind of just came out. I was like kind of the first one that was very creative. So
what do your parents do, like their careers?
My dad is actually super random, an orange juice broker, so he like has his own orange juice company, and then my mom, she worked at hotels and was an interior designer, so this was like super random.
Were you into school back then?
Yeah, I started homeschooling when I was in 4th grade for swimming.
So you could like practice all the time.
Yeah, it was like, it was a super
that's next level.
It was a super competitive childhood for me. Like my brother and I both were very serious about swimming, and my whole family was. And I started homeschooling in elementary school, and then all the way until high school. Yeah. So, and then all through high school I was doing music, so I never really had like a high school experience. So I was kind of a late bloomer, and I'm experiencing like a lot of the high school stuff now. Like the petty girls and like all of the cattiness and the boys and all of that. So but it's been a ride. I just spit on myself. I've kind of grown up around adults, and like I've been in such an adult world with the music industry. So it's been very different growing up for me. Yeah.
And then, do you remember like the first CDs and stuff you bought, like when you started exploring music on your own?
The first CDs. I mean, I used to always listen to like Jessica Simpson and like Christina Aguilera. And
I can see, even with the style, like I can see it.
I mean, right now it's kind of crazy because it's wind, but
it is so windy. You guys can hear it.
Yeah, no, I definitely looked up to Christina Aguilera growing up. Like, she was my idol. Like, I idolized Christina.
Wow.
So yeah, all of those girls, like, just very like powerhouses. I tried to like imitate like their voices, and, like Mariah Carey and all them. So yeah.
And then what made you wanted to join like the more reality TV with Rising Star back then?
I went through like the ringer with reality shows.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was like auditioning for a ton of reality shows. You know, couldn't get on a lot of them, but finally I landed one, which was Rising Star. It was its first season, and I was kind of like the social media girl of the show.
Even back then?
Yeah, because I was doing YouTube back then. I begged my parents to move to LA right after that show, and then that's like when I moved. But yeah, I was doing YouTube even before that, and we found my video, and we kind of just went from there.
Yeah. What drew you to YouTube initially?
Well, I've been through girl groups and bands.
Yeah, you moved to Atlanta for the girl group.
Yeah,
right?
I was in it. That's kind of where I started out, was Atlanta, with this girl group. It was 4 of us, and
so was there a company that moved you guys out there for it? Or?
Yeah, it was a management. Yeah. So we moved out there, and I was doing like boot camp and like it was like old school music industry. Like we went through boot camp, artist development, like working out, singing, running and singing in the studio to like 4 a.m. every night.
Wow.
It was like a lot. And then I started YouTube right after I started all the reality shows. After the reality shows, I was like, screw the reality shows, I'm gonna start YouTube now. So I did YouTube, and I collabed with my friend Kurt Hugo Schneider, who is like a great YouTuber and super talented. Yeah. And he kind of took me under his wing, introduced me to all the YouTube stuff, and I just kept on going. Yeah. And still going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you want to do more of like the cover stuff initially than like just put out all your own stuff in the beginning?
Well, with my covers, I tried to make the versions different than the original. So, I mean, even though they're covers, I still try and make them like original. But what made me start it more was, it really was just me trying to be creative, and I used to always take popular songs and change them up into like ballads and stuff, and all different things. So it kind of just came naturally to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did your parents think of the whole thing initially, like being in the limelight at such a young age?
They've always been really, really supportive. My dad, when I was a swimmer, I think he was very like into swimming.
Yeah, he was pretty hesitant. Athletic. His side was like pretty hesitant, right?
He was. I think he was kind of heartbroken when I left swimming, but at the same time, I really just knew that I had to be in music. He was never really in favor of me moving out here to LA, or like kind of lost his support at a certain time, like a couple years ago, and I kind of had to do it all by myself, which I kind of proved that I can do it by myself. But you know, we still don't really have like the best relationship. We used to be really close, but now it's kind of different. My mom has always supported me like 100% all the way through, so she's always been there for me day one, like, and has been helping me ever since. So I'm so grateful for that. But I mean, it's a different like family vibe. So, but they're both supportive. I know my dad supports it like on the inside, but like it's not like fully there. Yeah. Because he's from a different, you know, generation and family. So is my mom, but my mom just gets it a little bit more. Yeah. So it was hard, but I managed. Yeah. I'm managing.
You ever have a fear of being like the YouTube singer or something?
Oh yeah, all the time. Which is why now I'm starting to release my own stuff, and you know, growing. I kind of did things backwards. I started out performing and doing covers and like all of that, and then now I'm starting to get into like, I mean, I've always been writing, I've always been in the studio, but it's never been like a priority of mine just because I've been a YouTuber for so long. But I feel like sometimes I do get categorized as like the YouTube star cover artist, which is not what I want to be. I definitely want to be an original artist. So right now I'm trying to make my brand more revolving around that. So definitely been in the studio like nonstop. I released Property about a month ago.
Yeah.
This is my first single of like my sound, and which is like a lot of like pain and feeling behind that song.
So like after you moved to LA, you were feeling that like difficulty, like fake people in your life, like your parents' divorce.
Yeah. So I actually, when I first moved to LA, I immediately got into a relationship. So I was.
I think I saw the
got a
YouTube for
boyfriend.
that.
Oh goodness. Yeah. No, that was like one of the most like toxic times of my life. I had never experienced anything like that, and to this day, like that whole relationship was like so toxic to me. I was in like depression. I mean, like it was like moments where like I thought I was gonna like, I was like, it was just a really bad time for me. Very depressed. Very. I lost a lot of focus in like my career and stuff, and in music, and then, you know, I almost like risked like. I mean, it was almost like to the point where it was like suicidal thoughts. It was like, it was such a bad time for me, but luckily like one day I started kind of like losing like my faith too in that relationship, and then once it was kind of all over, I woke up and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take all that pain and like put it into my work and my songs and my music. And so I wrote a ton of songs about that whole relationship and everything, got everything out I needed to get out. Started going to church so much more because I kind of lost that.
Did you grow up with like a Christian family?
Yeah, a very like religious family. We went to church every Sunday, so it was like a kind of a thing for me. And then, you know, LA can like eat you up and spit you out. Like it's a city where like you run across, you either make it out here or you don't. Like it's like a very it's just a very crazy city. I feel like once you find the right group, you're good. But that whole time of my life was very hard for me. But I just put all of that pain into music, and it became a really great sound and a great project. And came out really great.
And so, your parents' divorce kind of affected you a lot, right? How were you able to deal with that?
Both my brother and I were very like affected by it. That's another part of my life that was super hard for me. I actually was moving out of like my parents' place at that time, at that same moment. So it was kind of like, it kind of made it better, me like moving out. My brother was going to college, so we both were kind of getting out of that atmosphere at that time. So so that kind of made it a little easier. But yeah, we grew up in an awesome family. Like my mom and my dad were such great parents to us, and it was really hard for us to see them like fall out of love and just like not be together anymore. Like we weren't a family anymore. And even now it's really hard with like holidays, because we always do stuff together for the holidays, and now it's like separate families and like having a lot of arguments during the holidays, and it kind of makes it like we don't even want to be there for the holidays. But I mean, like my brother and I are super close, so it's nice to have each other. And definitely during the divorce it was hard. But I mean, there's a lot of like complications like within that, with like my dad and I's relationship kind of drifted off too, and like it was just like at the same time he kind of lost support for my music career. The divorce was happening as well, so it was like a lot happening. But you know, just like at the end of the day I have myself, and I have to just keep on working in my career and like digging and burying my head into like music and my passion and like my craft and everything. So that's kind of what got me through it, was music and writing and all of that. So.
And how did was the Sean Kingston song happen back in like 2013?
Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. Yes, so when I first moved to LA, I actually, one of my like really close friends was Sean Kingston's brother. And we met through him in the studio session, and you know, he hopped on I wrote a song, he loved it, and he hopped on it. and that happened like super naturally. It was dope. We still talk and like are super close with his mom, and like it's just it was a great connect, and like they were very welcoming into LA when I had just moved here. So yeah, it was a really good experience. Yeah, he's awesome.
How did you meet Flo Rida?
So I had been in LA for so I moved out to LA twice. I moved out like 4 years ago with my mom for about a year and a half.
Like living with her here?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So towards the end of that, I would go to a lot of music conferences and perform. I was in touch with a lot of like the owners of those conferences and stuff, and that was where all the executives were and everything. So I met a lot of people through there, but there was this one conference called Driven Music Conference, and I went there. It's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I actually was there to perform a set on the Saturday of the weekend.
Yeah.
But last minute we were like driving up, and the owner of the conference calls and is like, "Hey, we had a band cancel on the executive dinner," which the executive dinner is like all the music executives from labels and stuff. And he was like, "Will you come perform like with like an acoustic set with like a guitarist or something?" And I didn't want to do it. I was like, "No, like I have to go to rehearse for my like original set." And my manager and my mom were like, "No, you're doing it." So so I was like, "No." So I went. Anyways, I performed a little set, and then right after we had to like run to rehearsals. But I guess while we were there, Flo's A&R was actually at the dinner.
Oh, wow.
And he was listening, but it was crazy because I had to run out right after, so we had left. Apparently he was like trying to chase us down like through the hotel, and like we had already left, and he was contacting like everyone to get a hold of me, and like finally he got like someone that was at my set. This was like 2 years ago. Someone that was at my set on the Saturday, the one that I performed at, he actually couldn't be at. So it was kind of like a God thing, like timing, right time, right place, and because he couldn't make my original set that I had, but then he got a hold of me and we met up, went to the studio, met Flo, he signed me on the spot, and then I went on tour with him like the next week. He put me on tour the next week, and it was crazy, so got a lot of really good experience with that. Yeah.
And like you're really particular about like the kind of branding and image you bring, like even if like management give you some stuff, you would have the confidence to like turn that down, like know what you want. I'm very hands-on with everything, I would say, when it comes to like graphics, to like my single artwork, to like the way my Twitter page is laid out, to the way I'm dressed, or like the way that photos are distributed. Like I always want to have a say in like how I am coming across as a brand, and that's grown. Like I used to not care about that stuff, like growing through because I've been doing this for like 9 years now, so it's been like a lot of growing and like figuring stuff out, and finally I'm to the point where like I want to be hands-on with everything. Was there like a specific moment in time that you realized that, like a turning point?
I guess when I was like around 17 or 18, like I really started getting into fashion and really just into branding and stuff, and I definitely want to do something with fashion and like branding in the future, but yeah, that was kind of like the turning point, was when I kind of got into fashion and all of that, and then like the layouts, and I just wanted everything on my page to look consistent. So I'm super involved with all that. If like my management comes with like I don't even know what it is, like a graphic design, and like I don't like it, I'll like say I don't like it, or even if like a band member is like doing something off, like, you know, I'll like, you know, it's just it's all about team and everything. So I definitely am super hands-on with how my team is working together, and it's more of a family than anything. So
actually,
I'm
about that,
hands-on.
Where's your like fashion? Do you have like a fashion icon or someone that you look up to?
Rihanna. Her whole like her style, her brand, the way she's creating this crazy empire around her is like is just insane. She's someone I look up to business-wise, fashion, musically, everything. So, yeah.
How do you think your music has changed from the early songs that you wrote?
Oh my gosh. I've been through like every genre, I feel like. I've been through country, rock, pop, R&B, like all of that. It's definitely changed. I was kind of in my emo stage for a while, like my punk pop rock phase. Definitely thought I was Avril Lavigne for a little bit with like the black extensions and everything.
Oh.
I had black streaks in my hair, all that. But that was like, I really thought that was what I wanted to do. Like that's like, I wanted to bring rock back, like, and that wasn't even that long ago. That was like 2 years ago. And then I was like, I look back now and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But yeah, I definitely have changed. My roots have always been R&B, like Christina Aguilera, like I said before. All of that type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I always have come back to that. Like with this recent single I just released, it's very R&B sounding. Yeah. So yeah, it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
But I think I found a very consistent music direction that I want to go in.
Yeah.
With this like R&B pop rhythmic type of sound. Because I've always come back to that every time. So yeah.
Finally found it. How do you think you've grown as a person since when you were younger?
A lot. All of the experiences that I've been through musically, personally, have been insane. And I think when I was growing up in the music industry, like I was super green, very new to like everything. So I think the experiences, when I was growing up, I used to write off of my friends' experiences and like people, like things that I hadn't gone through, so it wasn't real. It was never real. So to have gone through, it kind of took going through my parents' divorce, getting settled on my own, to being in my own relationship, to getting like making my own friends, figuring out who's fake and who's not. It took like a good like 3 years to go through all that because I really had to be on my own to experience all these emotions and ways of life. And like it took a long time to get to where I am now. But I've changed so much since I was young, like 13. So I'm definitely a lot wiser, and I'm definitely a lot more guarded now than ever because of the experiences I've gone through. But yeah, definitely changed a lot.
Yeah. Last question.
Yeah.
What do you want to be remembered for?
What I want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered for being real. Yeah. Like just being a really real person, because that's kind of what I'm known for in like my friend group as well, is like I don't really care what you think of me. I don't care like if you don't like my opinion. I used to not be like that. I used to be very timid, very shy. Yeah. LA kind of changed me for the better in that way by moving out here and dealing with people on my own. And I'm just very upfront with you, be super honest. I'm a great friend. I'm super honest with you. So yeah, I definitely want to be remembered for being real, like the most realist I can be, being very true to myself and not changing my morals for anything. And just real.
I love that. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Bye guys. Bye.